Hey everyone, welcome to the sideshow.
Hi, Willow.
Hi, Heather.
It's so nice to see your beautiful face. Yeah, and I always love our music, so I always have my little Heather dance in the background.
How's it going?
Yeah, you didn't see it, but this is what I usually do. I do my own Bob and
it's
also,
Backstreet Boys all over again.
I know that. Yeah, right. So I see Donna and Carl. Hi, guys. Yes, Carl is going to be our usual stalker seat. Donna's going for the crossfire. I'll take it. And yes, before Carl brings it up, my hair is now back to being brown. You're welcome. So we're going to keep doing this all day. Anyways.
So, blondes do not have more fun, apparently.
I always have fun no matter what color my hair is. Thank you very much. But let's not talk about just us. We have two fine young gentlemen joining us tonight, don't we, Willow?
Yes, our eye candy from Italy is back with us.
Oh, yeah. And our Italian eye candy from Jersey is also here. So, gentlemen, I'll let you introduce yourselves. Obviously, we've got DJ Nick and new to our show, Mr. Brian Galloway. So you guys fight over who does the introductions first.
Go ahead, Nick. You can go.
Oh, Brian gave up.
What a gentleman! Brian, next time you're in Italy, remind to hit me up, and I'm definitely buying you dinner, my friend. That said, well, I am DJ Nick. I host the radio show Whiskey and Cigarettes, amongst other podcasts, which I will definitely get into later on. Super happy to be here, ladies. Thank you so much for inviting me, and I reckon it's going to be a fun conversation.
Woohoo! All right, Brian.
I should have done MC Brian G, but I didn't know that we could put in whatever name we wanted. Because,
yeah.
But anyway, I'm Brian Galloway. I'm part of the Spoonful of Podcast group. We've been doing a podcast for about a year, a Disney podcast, and I also host. I'm also the owner and sponsor of Disney Vampires, which is a great Facebook group if you ever want to join. Thank you very much for having me on today.
No problem.
Yeah, no, we're so excited. I had the opportunity, was it last week, Brian, that I sat on Spoonful of Podcast to talk about top things we love that Disney was doing and things we wanted to bring back. And it was such a great show. It was a lot of fun. And those boys might be seeing a little bit more of me.
Yes, we're gonna have you on very often.
You're kind of stuck with me a little bit. Just like you guys are stuck with me. Everybody gets stuck with me. How about that? I'm literally at my mom's house, y'all. And I'm trying to get her lamp going. This is going to be this night. There's no switch for okay, there is. Just kidding.
There you go.
Yay, light. That helps so much. Are you
using an iPad this week or are you using a computer?
No, I'm using a laptop. That's not necessarily my personal laptop. So for those that don't know, my stepdad's been in and out of the hospital. So generally I'll go, oh, hey, Ryan. Sorry, Ryan just joined our chat. I've been about an hour away from home trying to help my mom get my stepdad's stuff ready for when he comes back out of the hospital. So it just got released today again. So just been getting the house ready and trying to help keep her company. But I was here last week when I was supposed to be working with Brian, and I couldn't get it on my iPhone because Brian uses he does audio, and it would not work on a mobile device. We did not know this. So I was very fortunate.
You know what? I have to tell you, you did a great job because, maybe you delayed 3 minutes, 4 minutes. I mean, you figured out a way to make it work and you got it working. So
that's me. Thank you. I'll take the compliment. Thank you. It was so difficult. But no, my mom has her work desktop and I'm like, Mom, move. I am going to get on so I don't screw these guys over. So we did. And we had a great show. It was a lot of fun. And we kind of touched on some of the stuff we're going to talk about tonight. And I'm so appreciative that, we are all nerds, plain and simple. And we have been keeping on track. At least I have been obsessively scrolling through everything for San Diego Comic-Con. There's been so many huge releases of information and crazy stuff and cool stuff. And
I think Heather's been doing a very good job at keeping me informed of everything because I've been trying to read. I even found the YouTube, like the panel, and I'm just like, I feel like I'm lost with everything that's been happening, announced.
Ryan apparently says SDCC is void. So Ryan, you don't have to watch tonight's show because that's all we're talking about, my friend. But there's so much cool stuff. I mean, yeah, Marvel was a huge part of it, and we'll obviously talk about that. There's some really cool announcements going on. All sorts of stuff with Lord of the Rings and Game of Thrones. There's so much stuff. So if you guys are watching live, or even if you're not, on the comments, I want you to tell me what you're looking most forward to that you've already heard about, or what you're hoping that we're going to talk about tonight. Because I think there's going to be a lot of really cool stuff, and we're all going to be talking obsessively over it for the next hour. So with that being said, does anybody have anything they want to start talking about? I'm going to call out to Willow.
Well, Winnipeg Comic-Con has been announcing their guests like all day. So far we have Lou Ferrigno.
Oh, there you go.
The
original Hulk.
Yeah, I'm excited. Like, okay, he was announced to come to Comic-Con several years ago, and he unfortunately had to cancel due to other contracts that he had going. We have I'm having a giant brain fart moment. I apologize, everyone.
About Winnipeg, and
but this is typical me. Okay, so Matthew Lewis from the Harry Potter series is
married
also
a girl in Orlando that worked at Universal Studios and met her during celebration of Harry Potter. It's super cute.
John Barrowman,
who's amazing.
Huge fan. And I'm excited for this. Bruce Campbell.
Oh yeah.
Oh, Bruce Campbell. There you go.
Nice.
So, and also Dave Foley from the Kids in the Hall.
Kids in the Hall.
So
love him.
And
he was also in Sky High.
Yep, he was.
Nick and I did an episode about that weeks ago.
If you guys,
episode on Sky High. Okay.
If you guys haven't visited Winnipeg, you guys can come join me for Comic-Con in October.
Or we can, so Tampa Bay Comic-Con's happening this weekend here. And I was like on the fence about it because they had this one huge guest announcement, and I was really excited about it because it's Paul Bettany. I do not pay for autographs. I do not do, photo ops, but it's freaking Vision. And I've loved Paul Bettany since like Knight's Tale, and oh my God. No, he just announced today he has to cancel. And I'm like,
God. How much was he charging?
I have no idea.
Okay, I always like to check out to see if people don't charge that much, then you might, it's not. Hey, I'll go do it.
Yeah, but
if they charge $400, then that's a different story. No one's worth $400.
So they don't generally charge on prices. So I've done a lot of celebrity work, and a lot of these Comic-Cons have. I'm not going to mention the company that does the photography, but they don't even ask the celebrities if they want to do it. They just put them on the official schedule. And they set the prices.
That's what you get.
It's terrible. And a lot of these cons, a lot of people don't understand. These celebrities have to price stuff. I think the highest, you said $400. The highest I've ever seen was when I was working with Ace Frehley from Kiss. And he won't sign anything having to do with guitar because even 9 years ago, people were flipping stuff on eBay. So he said, if you want anything, any part of a guitar sign, it's going to be $1,000. And people still, somebody brought a Guitar Hero guitar like slam plate and they paid $1,000 for it. The problem is that and it's not a problem, but these conventions make money off of a commission as to how much each vendor celebrity makes. So some of these people, friends of mine, I will not bring up their names, they've been mentioned in previous shows, charge very little because they don't want to pay anything to the show because it's under the threshold. So it is truly a business. But let's get to business. Let's get down to business to defeat the Huns here. Should we talk about the elephant in the room, talking about Marvel, or do we want to start with some of the more
Well, I'm seeing in the chat that Ryan's a big fan of John Wick, so
Ryan just said he's mad at SDCC is void because Henry Cavill didn't return. Yes.
Okay, I'm hoping, yes, the John Wick series is amazing, and my husband is behind me, behind the curtain, and you might hear him yell at me for this, but I'm hoping for a better story for the next one.
I love the trailer. Did you guys get a chance to see the trailer?
No.
I don't watch trailers as a rule.
You're fired, Nick.
I'm with Nick.
I know, because I don't want to be ruined at all. In the sense, even when I'm at the movies, I literally.
Do you ever notice that sometimes the trailer, where you watch the trailers and there's things that happen in the trailer, and it doesn't even show when you go see the movie, it's not there.
Or there have been times where I've been burnt by trailers because it literally tells you what happens in the movie, and so I'm not going to watch trailers.
Or you get companies like Marvel who will put something in the trailer just to throw you off.
Yeah.
True, but I mean, as I said, in general, I always like to kind of have it like a Hanukkah present where it's just I have to open it to find out what I'm going to get into. So I just don't watch trailers in general. I like to be surprised.
I have a good friend of mine, and all we do all day long is trade like trailers and random stuff about Stranger Things all day long.
Well, that's fair. That's fair. I mean, as I said, but yeah, often I have trouble with that with some of my co-hosts. Like, did you see the trailers? I'm like, nope, I refuse to see it. Don't tell me what happened. Don't tell me what you saw.
So we won't talk about the trailer, but we can talk about the fact that there's going to be a new John Wick. As somebody who has seen the trailer, it is full of action.
Okay, there's no dogs are dying though, right? I can't take any more of that. That bothers me.
No, and that's why I won't watch Marley and Me. Let me tell you. Let's bring up a fun fact about Heather, Brian. So. Thank you. I can't watch dogs dying. I don't like watching animals dying. I still get into like Atreyu and like Never Ending Story, like crying hysterically with the horse. But my mother and stepfather years ago, when Marley and Me came out, thought that would be a great movie for us to go see on Christmas Eve.
Excellent choice.
Oh my goodness!
Nice family film.
Yeah, it's a good family film.
Let me tell you, I fought tooth and nail, and I'm like, no, I read the story. The dog dies. This happened in Fort Lauderdale. That's where we're from. You guys should know this. They're like, no, they wouldn't do that. I'm like, I cannot watch Marley and Me.
I did that. I took my kids to see Bridge of Terabithia without realizing that the girl was going to die, and I traumatized my daughters on that one.
Oh,
good job, Brian. I mean, traumatizing children is sometimes fun. But
yeah, that's why they have movies like Watership Down.
I don't think I know that one.
No? Animals dying.
Yeah, animals dying.
That's all you need to know.
A lot of animals.
Would not be able to watch that. People dying. I love horror and I love gore. Animals dying. I'm done. An animal crying or like hurt. Oh God. Mm-mm. No. Anyways, let's talk about fun stuff and not dead animals because I want to apparently talk about that tonight. Going through my childhood trauma. So one fun thing we were kind of talking about Marvel, and yeah, there's a lot of stuff up. You guys just want to get that out of the way?
Well, before we get that out of the way, can we actually mention the one person who was not at the party and spent all the time in the kitchen, and that's DC. They did not show up whatsoever.
Oh, Nick, you went for the jugular. I was going to try to avoid the drama, but go ahead.
No, all I'm saying is all we got apparently was the one trailer for the Shazam sequel and Black Adam getting booed about, Superman and stuff. But what I think is insane, and I'm pan-comical, so I love them all. I love DC, I love Marvel, I love Image, I love all of them.
I'm out. Did you just use the term pan-comical?
Yes, it's a term that I have coined some time ago to say what. When everybody asks me what comics do you like, Marvel, DC, I'm pan-comical.
I love it so much.
And the thing is, that's why I want everybody to do well. But the problem is there's no DCEU, and apparently I think they've said that Snyder is gone, which is probably a blessing.
Do you think that they're waiting for New York Comic-Con to do any releases, or do you think they're just off the table?
I think they've literally scrapped everything because it was literally a total flop because they tried to monkey what Marvel was doing in the MCU, and it failed terribly for them. And hopefully it's a wake-up call to where we'll get standalone movies like The Batman, which I thoroughly enjoyed and thought was fantastic. Sure. And I hope we get more of those. You don't have to copy something that's successful, and it means you will be successful just as much. Heck, we saw it with Valiant Comics. They tried to start their universe with that, and it failed completely. Granted, it's Vin Diesel. The guy doesn't really know how to act, so what can you do? But yeah, so that I hope it allows them to pull their socks up and give us some great DC films like the Batman. But
DC made an announcement though. They weren't necessarily just in the kitchen though.
Well, all they gave us was the trailer for Shazam, and then Black Adam would show up in costume.
And we got the Joker sequel announcement. And let's.
But that was not even at San Diego Comic-Con. We knew about that way before. But I mean, what I'm saying.
No, it was announced. It's getting a sequel. It's officially announced with the writers and the comic artists. The man who stopped laughing. I'm not talking about the movie. I'm talking about the comic.
But the problem with DC is they do not expand their universe. They don't have a universe because you're going to see Joker, like 12 Joker movies, Superman, Batman. They're not going. There's all those other comics that are in the DC universe. They don't expand. They don't put Green Arrow. They don't put Atom. Yeah. You don't see any of those. And that's their problem, I think, because Marvel throws all these variations at you, and it gives people who like different things get to see their characters that they grew up reading about.
Right.
DC is give a small handful, and they're missing some big ones that are popular.
But the problem is, Brian, is just they missed the formula, I think, in the sense that you have three of the most popular characters in the world that everybody knows about: Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman.
Correct.
And you can't make them work. Seriously, it's like you are, managing the best football club in the world and you can't win, and you all have star players and you're not able to make it win. There's seriously something wrong there.
Yeah. I mean, I agree. And to me, I was a Batman fan. Always a Batman fan. And I love Marvel, but I'm a Batman fan and I love that whole, but you're right, Nick. Like they haven't really expanded off of it. Marvel at least is willing to take a look at stuff, go, this works. We're going to expand this part of the universe or this chapter, and we're going to grow based off the fan base and where everything goes. We're going to write comic books that help enforce and support this new storyline and take it to where it's going to go. And then it's going to expand from there. It just keeps growing like a really cool disease. But it doesn't stop. DC's like, nope, this is where our characters are going to be. Okay, cool. Batman marries Catwoman. Here's a beautiful photo. And then nothing. Like there's so much to expand, and they just kind of, I don't want to say gave it up.
And they forgot about Robin. You don't see Robin very often anymore. Like,
do you remember it was supposed to be Joseph Gordon-Levitt was going to be taking on the role of Batman or of Robin?
Yeah.
They set him up for it. What happened? I love Joseph Gordon-Levitt. He's amazing. That would have been perfect for Dick.
The problem is, I think, is like it makes me think of Roald Dahl's story, George's Marvelous Medicine, where basically the premise, for those who don't know about it, is George is a young kid who has a terrible grandmother. And so he wants to make this medicine to pretty much help her get out of her funk. And so he mixes all kind of things, not knowing what it's going to do. And then he serves it to her. And it has the most incredible effects and gives birth to giant animals. And everybody's like, oh, wow, it's amazing. And his dad's like, we want to recreate this and want to do the same thing. How did you do it? And they try to recreate it and it fails completely. So it's almost like Marvel when they did the MCU, when Iron Man came out, they weren't planning necessarily on doing the expanded universe. It was a happy accident. And then it just worked out the way it was supposed to go. DC is like, oh, this works. Let's do it. Boom, total failure. And it's just like, it's just one of those things you can't replicate, I think. And, it's following the thing of what makes money. Let's just do this and see what happens. No, it doesn't work.
It's what they consider lightning in a bottle. You've got it. You keep going with it. You've got it captured. Go, go, go. But listen to the fans. And that's what I respect. Willow is awfully quiet right now.
I'm just waiting for you guys to tire yourselves out. DC does a really good job with their animated stuff and wish that they would stick with that.
Okay, fair.
But yeah, their movies.
I think a cat is behind you, because otherwise that or a curtain or the ghosts are moving. Or is it a half naked?
Hold on a sec.
I mean, to Brian's point, I'm going to be seeing Black Adam to see Dr. Fate, Hawkman, and Atom Smasher. I'm not going there for Black Adam. I'm going there for those characters.
I want to see how they are. Yeah. Well, I also say Marvel's made some mistakes too, but the thing is, they throw so much at them. Like they killed Iron Fist. Iron Fist was one of my favorite characters ever.
Loved it.
And they just did a horrible job with that.
They did.
But
it was more of a farce than anything else.
was terrible, and it bothered me so much. But they made mistakes, but they throw so much at us that hey, there's 8 successes and 2 mistakes. Okay, fine. We have we're up 6, and
Take the W,
DC's not doing that.
Right.
DC's not doing that.
No, they're not for the most part. To Willow's point, they do pretty decently when it comes to the animated stuff.
Oh yeah,
sure.
it's awesome. Oh yeah.
For sure.
Maybe
So
if we get the writers from the animated stuff to work with the producers from the movies,
I don't know if it
maybe
would
we'll come out with a
translate.
good
There
story.
you go.
Do you think it'll translate onto film? Because they do a lot of this, especially now. Disney is doing a lot of this, like from cartoon to live action, and people throw an absolute fit, and they have this writer go over here, and it just doesn't work. It's too kitschy. I don't know. It'd be interesting to kind of check that out.
It can work. I mean, if you have the right people behind it, I think it can work.
You just have to
I mean,
find
the
the
magic-
right. You have to find the right actor for the right role. It's really important. Like it's so important because you don't want to lose people because they look at it. They're like that person could never. Like for another good one that I thought they did an amazing job was Luke Cage.
Oh yeah,
An amazing.
Fantastic.
Like that was spot on,
Mhm.
and that was a great thing. Like Iron Fist they ruined, but there's even Tony Stark. I thought they did a good job with that. I thought it was good.
Yeah.
Obviously, Doctor Strange, amazing, right? Could you ever find somebody who's better than that? I don't
Benedict
know.
Cumberbatch?
And
No.
DC's not doing that. Yes, no. He's made for that role.
Well, okay,
But DC hasn't.
they did a really good job at
Batman.
casting Ezra Miller. Unfortunately, Ezra Miller is kind of
Worst
We don't
Flash
say their
ever.
name
So-
here.
really okay. So my apologies, guys. I thought Ezra Miller was a good guy for Flash. But
Worst Flash ever, in my opinion. I'm a huge
Don't get me
Flash fan.
started.
No, I mean, also, can I say it's
Yeah.
Hollywood? Can't you find some peroxide? I mean, Flash is blonde and blue-eyed. He's
I
not
know,
a brunette.
But that's typecasting.
But still, you want to be true to the comics, you can find
I
a blonde
agree.
actor.
See,
Or if you
and-
want to do Wally West, find a redhead.
But now, Nick, you and I have had this gripe, and Will and I have had this gripe. I don't think I've let Brian into like my frustration. Yes, cast a character or make them look like what the comics are. We have an idea of it. Stop with this BS of like, yes, I get it. We want to be more inclusive. Totally fine. But at least for the main character, don't keep making the damn female characters. Like, it's a boy character. We don't need a female Flash. We don't need a female.
The gender swapping, I get it, yeah.
Drives me
But-
nuts.
The only thing is just that is there must be some blonde actors out there who are actually good, I mean,
Chris Evans. No.
or I mean, even Grant Gustin would be great, I
Who's
think,
that?
as a cinematic Flash. He's the guy
I
who
don't
plays
think I know that name.
Grant Gustin is the guy who plays the Flash on the Flash TV show.
Oh, okay. He was
I like the
originally
Flash.
in Glee.
I
That's
like
my
the
reason
Flash
why.
TV show. I like the Flash TV
I think
show.
Grant Gustin would be
Yeah.
good as the cinematic Flash. Ezra Miller was just like, I'm not Wally West. I'm not Barry Allen. Who am I? I'm just like pathetic little nerd. And it's like, no, don't like it.
Pathetic little nerd. Is that what you just said?
Yes. And in fact, when we reviewed Justice League, he was the most hated character on our review.
wow.
I agree, though, and I wasn't even there.
I
so.
mean, let's be real. You could get Jamie Campbell Bower to pretty much play anything. He is a blonde actor that's insanely good and talented.
That's what I'm saying.
Nah.
Or not
One.
use peroxide. I mean, come on.
Or you can go back to Brown.
That's like the same gripe I had with Constantine. As much as Keanu Reeves is good, give us a Liverpudlian who is blonde. Matt Ryan would be perfect as the cinematic Constantine.
Nick's on a tangent, and I love it. Do it. And then now, didn't Keanu? Isn't he having like this whole thing that came out with SDCC? I'm trying to look through my notes. It's a new show that he's releasing. It's an animated series. Did you guys hear about this?
Mhm.
No.
I'm pulling it up right now. I believe it's Keanu, and it's Berserker. So
Yep.
it's BRZRKR. It's a Berserker universe. Let me pull this up.
Was that a video game?
I'm not sure. Nick, was it a video game?
No, I mean it
Berserker?
is actually a rather unknown comic. That's what it's taken from, but it's a lesser known property.
It's Berserker. The Immortal Saga continues.
Yeah. They actually had comics about that, and I guess they're trying to revitalize some of the lesser known comics. Like as I said, they did with the Valiant comics when they did Bloodshot, which was a total flop, which was very sad. But yeah.
And we're like a half hour in. We haven't even touched half the stuff. I want to talk about the damn elephant in the room. Let's talk now that we've talked DC and Marvel.
Okay.
Let's look at all the Marvel releases. Willow, can you throw those up for me, please?
Absolutely.
Because y'all, this makes my heart so happy. So happy. We've already obviously seen the first episode or first season of Moon Knight. Didn't know if we were going to get a second one. Now here's our proof that we do. Yeah. We didn't know what was going with What If. We're getting a season 2. And Marvel Zombies that came, we're talking about expansion. Marvel Zombies came off of What If. And they're saying expect the most gore and stuff that you want from any zombie movie.
I love it.
That's great. And we can even go off of that branch because then you've got all the Walking Dead stuff. And now they're announcing that they're going to do a Rick and Michonne series instead of doing a movie because it's supposed to be a Rick Grimes movie. Now there's going to be a series. I mean, guys, there was so much cool shit that was released. Agatha House of Harkness, I am dying to see because I love her so much. She's my ringtone every single day. But there's so much cool stuff. Things that I was looking forward to seeing that I don't see on there. Obviously, we knew WandaVision was going to be a limited series. Same thing with Hawkeye. Loki 2 is going to be doing some cool stuff. I'm really excited. She-Hulk's coming up, what, Nick? August 16th, I think we're talking?
Correct, yes.
Yeah, She-Hulk's going to be awesome.
And we also get Sandman next month, which is
Sandman.
so awesome.
And the original actor from Sandman. So It's so cool. And we're going to be getting the Peter Parker freshman year. And Charlie Cox, Daredevil, is going to be part of it. That's confirmed. Like, these are cool things that are happening right now that as a Marvel fan, as a Disney fan, I'm like, hell yes, let's get it. Willow's laughing at me.
No, I'm smiling because of the fact that, I have a Marvel, I have a Marvel Zombies poster that I brought out.
Who's your favorite zombie?
You know what? I love zombies. As a fan of zombies in general, I'm excited because now I can bring this poster out and have it displayed.
Oh, because your hubby wouldn't like it. That brings up a fun point. All right, panel. If you could choose one Marvel character or DC character to be a zombie, who would it be and why?
Oh, that's a tough one.
I know, that's why I asked it.
I would probably say for DC, The Flash, which is actually my all-time favorite DC character. Yes. And for Marvel, I would probably say Venom.
Interesting. Okay.
He's also my all-time favorite Marvel character. I love Venom.
Yeah. All right, Brian, what about you?
So that's an interesting one because I would say the Hulk, and again, I'm not the biggest Hulk fan, but the Hulk as a zombie would be pretty wild because I don't know what you could do with that, with the skin and being able to kill it. You would never be able to kill that one.
No,
he looked like Solomon Grundy, I reckon.
And so DC, Catwoman. I think Catwoman would be a great zombie there.
That'd be cool. All right, well, your turn.
I'd have to pick Rogue for Marvel. Yeah, she would be unstoppable as a zombie.
She would be.
DC. I don't know. That's a tough one. Yeah, I'm not even sure who.
That's okay.
Superman.
Okay. So Kryptonite could.
Yeah, Superman is a zombie and Hulk is a zombie. That would be tough.
Yeah.
I'm still a Bucky fan. I want to see Winter Soldier as an actual zombie, killing people and kicking butt. But also like having that Winter Soldier switch turn on.
Yeah, but would the arm stay on? No, wait. Would the arm stay on? No, we got to think about the logistics here.
I think
he's
the
a
arm
zombie,
would it would just be bone and maybe kind of because it's like into the shoulder a little bit because they don't need to be bony. It could just kind of be slipping off. But then he could knock people. I don't know. And then for DC, I really want to see Joker because can you imagine like this grinning like zombie coming after you?
That'd be neat.
That would be amazing. I'm sick and sadistic. It's fine. I've come to acknowledge that. And Willa brings up a good point. There's an X-Men TV show coming up on Disney Plus soon.
Yay! Fantastic.
So we just got our first look at that.
Do we know who's going to be in there? Do we know who's going to be in there?
As far as X-Men?
Yeah, which X-Men?
I'm going to look right now.
Okay, so for the X-Men cartoon, it will be going back to like the 97. It's a continuation from the cartoon series.
Look, so I'm just happy we're finally getting X-Men into the MCU now. I am.
Well, when we talk about Comic-Con, a couple of years ago, about 12 of us, my friends, we all dressed as variations of Jubilee, male and female. And it was we had a great time at Comic-Con. There were tons of people took pictures of us. That was a lot of fun. So there you go. I hope Jubilee is Jubilee. I want to know, is Jubilee in that one? I don't know.
Yeah. Let's see. I just pulled it up. Every character confirmed for the MCU's X-Men 97. All right, you ready? Let's get to the list here. Come on. Magneto, obviously. Mr. Sinister, Wolverine, Cyclops, Jean Grey, Beast, love Beast, Gambit, such a Gambit fan. And we're not even going to talk about that Gambit was supposed to have his own full movie and didn't have it. Rogue. Jubilee is going to be in it, Brian.
Yay.
OG Jubilee. Yep. Storm, the Hellfire Club, and not to be confused, the Hellfire Club of Stranger Things. So that's the inner circle of Phoenix Saga. So you've got Black King, Sebastian Shaw, White Queen, Emma Frost. Callisto, Val Cooper, Forge, Cable, Bishop. I want to go play a video game right now.
They're all in the TV show.
Yep. Morph, Nightcrawler, Sunspot. That's it. So those are the official released.
They're bringing him back only just to kill him off again.
No.
Well, it makes sense.
It has happened several times in the comic books and on TV.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it makes sense if it is literally a sequel to the original TV show that would have all these characters because they're pretty much all still alive. So yeah.
But is it going to be the Beast that from the original X-Men? How come they don't have Angel though? There's no Angel.
Well, I mean, there was Angel in the animated TV show, but Warren Worthington was like there for 2 minutes and then disappeared.
Yeah, I just don't understand. Yeah. Like that, like the key for X-Men to begin. I don't know. Angel.
Honestly, I wish that they would do like a proper first class of X-Men, like the original 5. I'm with you on that. Like
not the live version that we got. But let's talk about.
Oh, let's not talk about that.
Oh my god!
Please,
let's talk about something happier, which will kind of lead us into our next topic too. Who was excited when you watched Multiverse of Madness and saw Dr. Xavier roll it up, kicking some butt? Like that was such a cool moment for being a Marvel fan and an X-Men fan, and seeing that come together was freaking so cool.
And the fact that he was in his yellow wheelchair.
Exactly. And you had the X-Men theme from the TV, the animated TV show under there. Yeah, it was awesome.
Well, you also had that at the end of Ms. Marvel, didn't you, Nick?
Yes, indeed. And I mean, also we got Mr. Fantastic, who probably won't be Mr. Fantastic when the Fantastic Four drops, but it was a nice nod.
It was a great thing to see John Krasinski in that, and I thought that was cool. I bring up William Shatner because he made this huge thing at his panel, and I don't know who out there has heard this or if you're a Shatner fan. I'm actually, as per a friend's suggestion, going through and watching the Picard series, which if you've not done it, it's really great.
No, it's terrific. It's terrific.
It's done so well. But William Shatner had a Shatner panel and he has said Gene Roddenberry would be turning in his grave because he is not a fan of where the franchise is going. And then he also didn't stop there. He also said, fuck Star Wars.
Fantastic.
And this is a guy who played T.J. Hooker.
Exactly.
Right. Probably one of the worst TV shows of all time.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It happens. But
does anybody take William Shatner serious anymore at all?
No. Well, he gets upset because people say that he's not the best captain. And they always say Picard. and they say,
that
and that bothers him a lot because he thinks he's the guy, and it's not true.
No, well, but I love our Trekkie. Sorry, there's a huge thunderstorm going on right now, and if I keep going like this, it's because there's crazy lightning, and I don't want to get struck. Maybe I do a little bit, but I
might turn into a speedster.
Yeah, oh, that's true. That's fun. Ideas. There's so much cool stuff happening, and like it's our damn time right now. Our nerdism is allowed to show.
Nerds shall take over the world.
We
already have.
We're all in the same age group, Brian.
No, I'm older.
We're all in the same age group. Like growing up, and Brian, your kids are significantly younger than us, but it wasn't cool to be a nerd. You weren't allowed to like Star Trek. You weren't allowed to, you were allowed, but you were teased for it. Spider-Man. I was never a Mighty Morphin Power Rangers fan, but there was a kid in our school who would go to all the conventions and get all this. He was like Ryan Permisson without being Ryan Permisson. Like all the autographs and everything. And like he was teased awfully for it. So it was always hard to like show your nerdism. You couldn't like Lord of the Rings. You couldn't without in the public. Like Willow even said now she can hang up her zombies poster. But
I'm still a little shocked that nerds are cool nowadays. I'm still not used to that.
Nerds have always been cool. It's the cool kids who were just idiots. Because these cool kids, they're all liking this stuff too, but now they're like, oh, it's cool to like this. But we grew up with it. We can look back and go, oh yeah, I remember what X-Men was like in the 90s. And oh my God, I'm so excited. They're like, oh, how do I watch X-Men from that time or read the comics? You can't unless you have a lot of money. It's going to take a lot of time, but this is stuff that we grew up with. So let's move into
my problem. This is my problem with Comic-Con though, is because back in the days when we used to go to Comic-Con, it was true people. They weren't as crazy. You didn't have as many crowds. Now it was crowded, but it was a good crowd. And then all of a sudden it became way popular and everybody was going. And then you have to fight for tickets and you go there and it's a swarm of people all the time. And it's just not as fun anymore.
So, and I agree.
That's capitalism for you.
Oh, for sure. Now
that's capitalism.
Ryan, you guys dressed up as Jubilee or different versions of Jubilee. And I think that's amazing. Do you do any other cosplaying?
I'll do whatever I can. It depends. It really depends on what mood I'm in. And usually we do it as a group. I have a core group of friends and we all kind of figure out something, a theme to do.
Now, I'll ask you this though, because I don't know if I've ever put this out there as my frustration. So as a cosplayer, to me, cosplayer is I'm putting in the work to create a costume that it's mine. It's, I can emulate a character. I can represent a character. I'm busting my butt for days, weeks, months on end to try to perfect a costume to just do it and wear it and feel empowered. There's a lot of people and there's a lot of companies that are now selling costumes, screen accurate costumes. And I hate that. So I made a Scarlet Witch WandaVision final episode costume last year for MegaCon. And I spent probably $200 on fabric with a friend of mine, Heather Smith, my wonderful seamstress and dear friend who I'll be doing Gish with next week. Spent hours putting together a pattern. There was nothing. Sourcing fabric from different places. My best friend in Wisconsin 3D printed me a design that we made of the crown. And I was so excited. And I walk in and I made my gloves and I put the lights on my gloves so it looked like I had an orb. And I walk in all awesome and stuff. And people are like, where'd you get your costume from? I made it. Oh, well, I just bought this for $150 on. I'm like, it makes me so uncomfortable because that's not cosplay. And that's what I'm seeing a lot more. We've talked about
I like to do real obscure things. So my buddy and I, we did a couple of years ago. We were looking the other day trying to find the picture. We did bananas in pajamas.
Yes.
They were, we're both tall, so it looked really good.
Nice.
We got tons of people were stopping us and taking pictures. It was crazy.
Awesome. Well, and I talked about it briefly in Spoonful of Podcast. I have a Madame Leota ball gown cosplay.
Yeah, yes, I know.
She lights up and she's 40 pounds. And I'm still working on her. But I will tell you, people are like, are you supposed to be Ursula? And I'm like, do I look like Ursula? Well, I was painted like teal, so like Leota in the ball. Someone goes,
you Ursula.
Have you not seen the picture?
No, I have to see this.
Okay, we're gonna sidestep for a second here. Hold on. It's a lot of cleavage. I'm just warning you guys. Just warning you. But I got approached a lot as Ursula, which kind of drove me nuts. I got approached as an avatar, which I thought was like probably the weirdest one. They're like, "Oh, but you're blue," and I'm like, "Are you kidding me right now?" Hold on. I'm going through all of my. Okay, so this was my costuming.
Oh my goodness.
I was very blue.
Yeah, that's not Ursula. That's not Ursula.
No, that is not Ursula. And then let's get to the dress. Hold on. Here's the dress.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, definitely not Ursula.
But people thought I was, and it drove me nuts. But
I'm not Avatar. Avatar.
Yeah, clearly people haven't watched the movie of Avatar.
No, but there's all these people. So again, not picking on people that are going to these shows. I love that they're doing it. It's out of their comfort zone. Go ahead.
What you and your friends do when it comes to making these things, I envy you, because I've tried to sew.
I'm happy to help virtually.
I rage quit on an outfit because it was my first time working on with sequins, and dumb idea.
I started by upcycling. I think the first cosplay that I actually made, besides my custom Alice in Wonderland that I created, my steampunk, was my Black Canary. It was the Bombshell Black Canary. I didn't know much about the character. Going to DC, I actually do a couple of DC cosplays. I do Zatanna. I do Black Canary. But I was at a friend's 4th of July pool party, and we were talking about cosplays for Tampa Bay Comic-Con, and they suggested it. And I was like, I'm going to do whatever I can. I went to Goodwill. I found stuff that kind of looked like the costume pieces, and I cut it, and I used So Quick, which is like a fabric glue. And I ordered, actually, I think I have a picture of it. I ordered these tattoos online because she has the Oliver tattoo. This. I looked up the design. I found a company that would print tattoos, and I printed a tattoo, and people are like, "Oh my God, is that real?" But that to me is a good basis to start off with. I'm not judging anybody. Look, if you want to spend, I have a friend who does Iron Man, and he visits kids in the hospital and stuff. He dropped $9,000 on an actual Iron Man suit that like is real. And
that's
if you
cool,
do
that's dedication.
But it's gotta be hot. Like I always see these people that they dress like this. One guy, he comes to the New York one a lot. He is Dr. Octopus. It's an amazing thing. But he can't do much while he's there because he can't go up the
I'm
escalator.
going to go crash on your couch for New York
Yeah.
Comic-Con, Brian, just so you know.
It's the New York. Yeah. It's not as good as San Diego, but it's good.
I know. We were talking about that. But I'd love to be able to see what another city does, because Orlando with MegaCon, it's a little saturated. And it gets to that point of like, you have the photographers there, and they're not photographers. They're people that have a nice camera that want to do photography. So what do? They take inappropriate photos, or they just go, "Hey, I'm going to take your photo now." And you're like, "What?" Or they don't edit them, or they post them and they try to get business from it. Or you have people who charge, like I have friends that'll pay like $500 for a half-hour session for 10 edited photos. It's not, to me, it's like I'm there to hang out with my friends and enjoy the fandom and maybe catch some cool panels. To me, it's not, I'm going to go and spend my time paying photographers to take photos of me. But some people are into it and some people aren't.
True. Yeah.
Yeah. My plan is I want to go to I heard the Baltimore one is really good, and it's not super crowded yet because people don't know that much about it. And also the Philadelphia one is another one I really want to go to.
Ryan just went to Fan Expo Philly. He's in our comment section unless he already left. The one next con that I'm going to go do, and I encourage anybody that's wanting to come to Orlando, it's the Diz Con. I don't know if you guys have heard of it. It's Give Kids the World, which is a nonprofit here in Central Florida that allows children with life-threatening illness to come with their family and their caregivers. They set up at the Give Kids the World village, and they get this whole like vacation treatment, and it's incredible. But they started doing the DIS, and it's a Disney convention. I think this year is at the Swan and Dolphin. I have to
when
double
is this?
It's a great question.
Now, isn't that Yeehaw Bob's charity too? Give Kids the World, isn't that?
I believe so.
Yeah,
I believe so. Let me take a quick look. And I would love to try to get them on the show because I was talking to them earlier. DisCon is, I'm sorry, it's at Coronado Springs. It's September 30th through October 1st. And it's cool, man. Like, they've got some really interesting guests coming up. Pat Sajak always goes, which I think is fun.
Interesting.
They've got like Disney Imagineers. Let's see who's going to be there. So this year they're doing the 30th anniversary for Aladdin. So you've got Linda Larkin, who's the voice of Jasmine, Jonathan Freeman, who I love, who's the voice of Jafar. They have an Encanto reunion. So the Adasa, who is the voice of Dolores, Mauro Castillo, who is the voice of Felix. Then they're doing a Phineas and Ferb reunion.
Oh, wow.
Right? With the voice Dan Povenmire, who was a creator of the show, and also did the voice of Dr. Doofenshmirtz. And you've got the voices of Phineas and Ferb, which I think are amazing. And D. Bradley Baker, who doesn't love D. Bradley Baker, from Star Wars and American Dad. Jarrett Reddick, who's the lead singer of Bowling for Soup, also did the theme song for Phineas and Ferb. They have the Bear and the Big Blue House reunion. I mean, we'll post episode or information. They've got the Fuller House reunion, which was such a short-lived Netflix series, but God, it was great. And they've got Imagineers and movie show writer, or the like show writers for the movies, or screenwriters for like The Corpse Bride and Frankenweenie. Like, there's so many great things, and it's like $50. It's cheap. And last year it was my first time going because I'm a volunteer with Give Kids the World. They were actually kind enough to extend it to volunteers. And it was like the Haunted Mansion thing. And Willow remembers, I'm sure. Remember, I was sharing everything over for real skills and stuff. And I sat there, and it was like the voice of Constance, who's in the Haunted Mansion in Walt Disney World. And it was all of these show creators and all sorts of stuff. And I nerded out. So that'll probably be the next convention I go to. And October 1st is the 40th anniversary of Epcot. So I kind of want to see what's going to happen with that, too. I already have my reservation done.
Oh, you're going that day?
Oh, yeah. I've had that reservation since I renewed my annual pass. I was at the 50th at Magic Kingdom last year. I didn't sleep for 40 hours. But I was there. It was fun. All right, so let's keep going down our list of cool release information. I completely nerded out, obviously. I love Gremlins.
You and me both.
Yay.
Yeah. Who doesn't love Gremlins?
Exactly.
Dumb people. Dumb people. If they don't like Gremlins, shame on them. I saw a Gizmo, oh my God, at Cracker Barrel. I went to go to Cracker Barrel with my mom for breakfast today. And they had a Gizmo animated plush that has a Halloween treat bag, a trick-or-treat bag, and it says no candy after midnight. And I was like, I need that.
I still have my original Mogwai in my bedroom, which a fan threw at me during a concert, which was great.
That's amazing.
Oh, wow.
That's wild.
It was amazing. Yeah. We wouldn't get bras or panties.
I was going to say.
I guess Mugwise.
Yeah, who brings that to a concert? Who just said, I'm going to a concert. Let me bring my mom.
I don't know, but
Nick, didn't you get a minion thrown at you too at one point?
No, I got two things. Two of the plush toys that were thrown at me during a concert, which kind of arrived right where the kick drum was a panda, which obviously I still have, and a Mogwai.
Nerd.
I was like, okay, I guess I won't be wearing bras or panties, so I guess these work.
I mean, to each their own, bud. But Secrets of the Mogwai is going to be a new animated series. And the original Billy, Billy Peltzer was the original keeper of the Mogwai, essentially Gizmo's guardian. Zach Galligan's actually going to be returning.
Yeah.
So that is really cool. My 80s heart is very happy. My nerd heart is really happy because I love history. and I still love National Treasure. And there's going to be 2 cool National Treasure things. Like, are you guys excited about
I'm
this?
looking forward to the show for sure. Like, I'm excited for their
National Treasure without Nick Cage. I don't.
Very easily, because Justin Bartha is the man, and I love him.
Okay. I'm gonna give it a chance. I love National Treasure. I love National Treasure. I'll give
National
it a chance.
Treasure. Yeah, well, Edge of History. So the official Edge of History cast is going to have Justin Bartha, who is Riley, the original Riley, Catherine Zeta-Jones, Jordan Rodriguez, Antonio Cipriano, Zuri Reed, and Lizette Oliveira. So it should be really interesting. But they also have this whole section with Lizette Alexis. So this is the TV show part of it. And it's going to be a female. Lizette Alexis is in her role as a main character. So it's a female protagonist, which will be really interesting. And they're going to go on an epic journey to save a long-lost Pan-American treasure and uncover her family's mysterious past, which makes me think of Miss Marvel.
Yeah.
So
cool.
Disney sure as hell seems to know what they're doing as far as getting everything incorporated, right?
So far, yep.
So far, so good. And then I'll take a poll here. Dungeons and Dragons, Lord of the Rings, Game of Thrones. What do you guys like best?
Lord of the Rings, hands down.
Yeah, Lord of the Rings was going to win it all.
So we don't watch trailers here at all. We don't do that, right?
We don't do that in Italy. That's what we don't do.
There's going to be some really cool things with Lord of the Rings. Nick, I know we were talking about it. Why don't you talk about our dear dwarves in Lord of the Rings and their appearance and why?
I thought it was hilarious, the fact that
Alana just called me out. Yes, I'm drinking a Capri Sun.
I think it's actually hilarious that both the male and female dwarves have beards, because it makes me think of one of my favorite authors of all time, was Terry Pratchett. Folks, if you don't know who Terry Pratchett is, woe betide you, but I'm sorry. But he's the creator of the Discworld saga, which is my all-time favorite saga. And I'm still surprised it hasn't had a decent live action, should we say, series. But that's another story for another time. But the fact of the women, both the female dwarves and the male dwarves having beards, is a thing that is very prevalent in Pratchett's Discworld, in the sense that he makes the joke that dwarves are confused about who are men and who are women because of the beards. And a dwarf must literally come out saying, I'm a woman or I'm a man, in order to be recognized as a woman or as a man, because of the fact that they all have beards. So I thought that was hilarious. And I think Sir Terry is cool, though. Yeah, I think Sir Terry is probably smiling from heaven when that was announced, because, like you said, what a genius, seriously.
Well, it'll be cool because it's the Rings of Power. And it's the creation of a Balrog. And they went through the formation of a cursed blade for Mordor. I mean, there is some really cool stuff. And apparently Sauron makes an appearance.
Oh, wow.
Well, yes, I think it's like right before the War of the Ring, so it makes sense.
And when is this due?
September.
Is it September?
Yeah, it drops on Amazon Prime in September.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Prime Video,
just in time for my 40th birthday.
Yeah, Prime Video. That's when the Rings of Power will be airing. It's in September.
Yeah, it'll be great.
It will be awesome. Plus, with the budget that Amazon has, it's going to be good.
Oh my God, Amazon does some really great stuff. Let me tell you. I mean,
they know how to spend their money.
It took COVID, not me having COVID, but it took like the quarantine and me getting stuck in a hotel room for 3 months in another state to cut the cable, and I cut the cord and just start doing streaming services. And people are like, oh, it costs the same as cable. No, it doesn't. And I get all of these cool shows that you guys don't.
The boys have definitely.
That's what I was going to say.
The boys is nuts.
If it's as good as the boys, then we're in for a great time. I mean, obviously it's not going to be as wacky as the boys.
Nick loves the boys.
Yeah, also because of the beard and stuff, folks say I should actually cosplay as Billy Butcher.
There you go.
They said I should kind of dye my hair all black, put it all stuck up, and wear, a leather coat.
Do it.
Billy Butcher.
The only problem is you're gonna have to call everybody the C word.
Which I don't have a problem with because it's
He
Italy
doesn't
and
have
nobody
a
knows.
problem with that.
It's Italy. Nobody knows those cuss words.
That's fair. They also don't know what a vodka tonic is or vodka seltzer, but we won't get
No,
into that.
it's a vodka and club soda.
That vodka seltzer, that's club soda. Yeah,
And they don't drink Californian wine. Thank you very much.
Nick and I have really great conversations as him being one of my favorite people in this world, hence the rest of this lovely panel. So I learned all sorts of weird shit about Italy. It's great. What did I learn to say yesterday? Oh shit.
That you learned that my means never.
Yes, but what's the term? Mina gioia?
Mai una gioia, exactly. Which means never a joy. Never a joy.
Never a joy.
Yes.
So that was fun to learn.
Alona says, why are we talking about vodka tonic? It's only vodka and cran.
Oh my god, it's really good if you have a UTI apparently too. I have no idea. I've never had one.
Let's not go there. Let's not go there.
What my stepfather's been in the hospital in and out of for the last month and a half.
That's why I was saying, let's not go there.
That's why I said it. Let's talk about more nerdy stuff because I'm loving it. Lord of the Rings, obviously, powers, beards, but Dungeons and Dragons.
Okay,
I'm sorry, but
I unfortunately, I want to support this. I want to be a supportive for my friends who play Dungeons and Dragons. Why can we not get a cast that will actually wear the makeup of these of orcs? And
do you guys not remember the original Dungeons and Dragons movie?
No, I
early
enjoy
90s, yes.
I like the Dungeons
human
and Dragons, Dungeons and Dragons animated TV show way back when. But other than that,
think about how popular D&D is getting now.
Well, of course, because they're piggybacking
it's a rebirth, yeah. There's a definite
exactly
rebirth.
because they're piggybacking off the success of Stranger Things. But I mean, personally, the Dungeons and Dragons movies,
Okay, so I'm excited about it. Screw you guys. Thank you, Brian.
It's fine. Everybody has their passions.
Okay, so how about we get like a bunch of actors who actually play Dungeons and Dragons and get them to be their characters?
Well, you have to give it a chance. See, my whole thing is I'm going to give it a chance, and if it's bad, it's bad. We but it's worth giving it a chance because you don't know.
Right. We don't know, and thank you for that, Brian. That's exactly it. Is give it a damn chance because this is our time to be nerdy and shine. And if we poo-poo it, it's going to be.
And if it's bad, then there's so many other things to look at anyway. So you just jump to something else.
Right.
Oh, no, it's totally fair. But I mean, my only thing is just that I don't feel any draw to it because I was never a D&D fan. That's all.
Okay, fine. So we'll go.
Unless one of our patrons asks us to do it, I'll watch it. If not, I won't watch it.
Well, next I'll talk about one of my favorite non-Marvels. I'm wearing my Bend the Knee shirt. Thank you very much. Game of Thrones. House of the Dragon. I am so excited, y'all. Game of Thrones? Yes? No? Panel?
No.
You know what? I love the show. Like I did enjoy the show with my husband. I never read any of the books, unfortunately. So
they are hard to get through. They are hard. But
did George R.R. Martin finish writing it? No,
not yet. They're keeping him alive for him to finish it.
Is it even worth finishing at this point? I mean,
he's probably going to end up joining Walt Disney, being put under ice, so they make sure that he finishes it.
Hold on, Donna just called an SOS on Carl. Uh-oh. It's so quiet in the chat. All right. Well, with that being said, what other cool stuff have you guys heard out of SDCC that we have not talked about today?
Daredevil Born Again. That is what I'm really excited about. Daredevil Born Again. Well, I mean, because I'm a huge fan of Daredevil comics. That's one of my all-time favorite Daredevil stories. Yeah. And the fact that it is Charlie Cox and Vincent D'Onofrio reprising their roles, that's the thing I'm probably most excited about when it comes to TV shows is Daredevil Born Again.
Yeah. What about you, Brian?
He's the best Kingpin. No, so I'm looking for the live version of Aqua Teen Hunger Force, but I've been waiting for. I heard the rumor, but I haven't seen anything, so I'm waiting to see that one. But
I do remember seeing something. Let me see if I can research it while Willow gives us her answer.
somebody was talking to me about it, but I don't know if I haven't. I've looked for stuff on it. I haven't seen anything, but that's one of my shows. That's one of my shows. I love Aqua Teen.
I mean, I love Aqua Teen Hunger Force, but like, also I can't imagine it going live action. But then again, how do you imagine Winnie the Pooh going to the horror
as a serial killer? Yes,
it looks crazy as shit. Thank you for publicly, I just don't get it. Go ahead, Willow.
I'm looking forward to seeing what She-Hulk has in store for us. What kind of weird characters are going to come in and grace the screen. The fighting, just everything. She-Hulk seems like this is her time to shine. So I'm excited that they're doing this.
And you're okay with the casting of it?
I'm okay for the casting because the woman who is She-Hulk, she did a good job in Orphan Black.
I was going to say, were you a fan of Orphan Black, Willow? Because she was fabulous in Orphan Black.
I'm trying to rewatch the series right now. So.
Yes.
Yep.
Now, have you seen the trailers? I know you don't like to watch trailers, but
I have not seen the trailers. I will be reviewing that TV show on my podcast, but I have not seen the trailers because I don't want to be spoiled.
I'm also going to tell you one of my favorite, I don't want to say B-list actresses, but she's amazing. And if you watched The Good Place, you'll know exactly what it is. Jamila Jamil is also going to be part of She-Hulk, and I am so freaking stoked for it. She's hysterical. She is absolutely hysterical. Go ahead.
Once again, Marvel Studios knows how to cast. The casting department is fantastic when it comes to choosing people for the right role.
If Marvel would like to sponsor a sideshow.
Yeah, I mean, we saw that with Iman Vellani as Miss Marvel.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I loved it. And I wasn't really wanting to give it a chance. And I was on a really terrible cruise in the middle of the ocean. And Nick's like, I'm watching Miss Marvel. And I'm like, fine, I'll watch it. The TV is out anyways. And here I am watching on my phone with the ocean, and I'm like, this is actually really good.
You didn't want to give it a chance? No, we have to explain yourself. Why? That's a great character. I thought they did an amazing job with that.
Oh, yeah.
They did. And I was on Nick's show with it, 3 weeks ago?
Yep, you won the fandom zone a couple weeks back. Yeah.
Thank you very much. I wasn't trying to promote myself. I was promoting you, asshole.
Well, you gave me the assist, and I just knocked it back into the goal. There you go.
Yep. No, why? I didn't really know much about the character, Brian, and that was me. It just wasn't a character that ever really stuck out to me, which is funny because Nick always says that she reminded him of me when it comes to her passion for cosplay.
As soon as I saw AvengerCon, I'm like, I so have to hit Heather up and say, you have to watch this. This is so.
That was my favorite part. It was awesome. But
I drove past some of the scenes from. I was in Jersey City today coming home, and I saw they show so many parts of Jersey City, and I saw they even have some of the paintings up. It's pretty wild.
I love it. I really gravitated towards it. As soon as I watched it, I was kind of hooked. But I'm not a Captain Marvel fan, and that might be a thing too, is that I didn't gravitate towards it because it emulates from that. But giving it an opportunity and appreciating the culture of it and the magic behind it and the gin, that really spoke to me a lot. And then to see it going into the Marvels and how that's going to be, I'm floored. I don't know. Well, Brian, you loved it so much. Willow, did you watch it? Willow?
Brian?
No.
Yeah, well, I was asking. I said, Brian loved it. Willow, did you watch it?
Not yet.
Oh, shame on you. Well, then, Brian.
No, I loved it. I loved it. My big one though is I want to see. They have to bring Nova to the screen soon. That's another one of my favorites. Nova needs to be there. I don't know why they haven't brought Nova into the Marvel fold yet. It's got to be.
I believe they will be bringing the Nova Corps proper eventually, Brian, because I know a lot of people want to see it. Plus, I think seeing all the cosmic stuff we're doing, I think most likely we'll do the Nova Corps. My theory is possibly they haven't done it because of the terrible rep that Green Lantern had at the time. So it's we don't want to do Space Police. And even
Ryan Reynolds said he hated doing Green Lantern.
Well, I mean, it's a terrible movie. He's a huge Green Lantern fan. It was an insult to me as well. But But that said, I think that
I
might be
insulted
it.
you.
Insulting me.
The Richard Rider story, that would be perfect. I don't know. They have to figure out a way to get
I'm sure they'll do it. I think they were waiting for enough time to pass from the bad taste in the mouth that Green Lantern left with the whole space police thing, like I said, and they will probably get Nova eventually, I'm sure. I mean, it's just a matter of time.
Yeah.
It's like the Fantastic Four. The Fantastic Four flopped and flopped and flopped and flopped, and now they're like,
oh, I
okay.
love the original one.
It's progressively gotten worse, though.
Yeah, it was god awful.
It
was just god awful. All of them were just god awful.
The original one was good. Don't you say it was god awful?
I don't know, but it was god awful. But I stand by that statement. What about the mad? But you know, aside from that. And now they're waiting, I think, for enough time for it to pass to where it's like we've forgotten the terrible, story films and all that terrible stuff. And like, now we'll bring them in. They were easing us in easily.
It was something I remember reading something, and I'm going to see if eventually I can find it. It was something where, in order to produce it before this whole Disney merge, Marvel had to redo a movie or do a movie every 7 years with the only characters they had. So in order to keep the rights
to keep the rights to it. That's why they made terrible movies.
But they did terrible casting too. I mean,
exactly.
Fox did the same thing.
Fox doesn't even have a foot in this.
The only decent casting they did, I think, at the time was with Blade. I think Blade was definitely definitely a spot on.
What did I read about Blade? I read something about Blade where if it wasn't for Blade, we wouldn't have had an MCU.
Most likely. I mean, those movies were awesome. And we got the announcement. We got the announcement for the Blade movie with Mahershala Ali, which is I'm
gonna find this. Willow's about to fight you.
Did you guys know that there was supposed to be a Dazzler movie back in the 80s?
And I'm kind of glad we didn't get it. Because
Bo Derek was supposed to be Dazzler.
I mean, look, after having rewatched the Generation X movie, TV show / pilot, I'm so glad we didn't get Dazzler. I'm so glad.
Okay, so fun fact about me. I loved the Generation X made for TV movie, and I did enjoy Nick Fury.
Oh my Lord. Okay, well, you better not listen to our podcast then, Willow, because we trashed both movies, both Generation X and Nick Fury. Yes.
I know they were terrible, but I loved them both.
Here we go. Here are the facts from Blade. So the movie spawned a trilogy that went on to earn a combined $415 million. In many ways, the movie saved Marvel cinema aspects entirely and revived the superhero genre because it was the very first successful movie that Marvel ever made. And it defined Wesley Snipes' acting career. Exactly. I mean, I think that's pretty damn cool that a vampire saved the MCU.
Exactly, and it was Wesley Snipes at the top of his game before he went bankrupt.
And it wasn't Howard the Duck though, right? I mean, Howard the Duck made a lot of money, right?
I was just gonna say, I swear there was one more Marvel movie.
That was awful.
Yeah, no. But I think Mahershala Ali as being cast as the next Blade is a fantastic choice.
Oh yeah. Okay, so you're talking about good castings, and we were kind of bitching about it in the studio, and I know we're running a little over time, but I want to talk about this. Go ahead, Nick. You're really upset about what?
What? I don't know. What bad casting? What we're talking about? Because there's a lot of bad casting.
The Flash?
Oh, well, I mean, Ezra Miller's not going to be the Flash ever again because of what he's done.
Interview the Vampire. We're not talking about Ezra Miller.
Oh, okay. Well, here's the thing. When it comes to remakes, there are certain properties that you just don't touch.
I don't consider it a remake. I consider it a retelling because it's the same story. It's just bringing it to the people that are not.
I don't think there's a reason to do that. It's like I said, they want to redo Scarface. Why do you want to redo Scarface? It was fine.
Fair. I think it's more for the cinematic part of it. But Interview with the Vampire, actually casting people and filming in New Orleans, and Christopher Rice is on board with it. Anne Rice was on it before she passed away. Like, I'm a huge Anne Rice fan. I'm not angry at it, and I'm part of all these Anne Rice like Facebook groups, and I follow Christopher Rice on Facebook. And there are so many people that are hella pissed at the casting, and they're like, "This is stupid." I agree, certain things don't need to be remade, but I think that as a TV series, I get more time with the characters that I didn't get from the movie.
That I'll grant you. You know, if it's a TV show, I can get on board with that. If it's a movie, then possibly not. It was like with the Exorcist TV show. The Exorcist TV show is brilliant.
Look at the Chucky show.
Exactly. Well, I mean, yeah, I'm not as much of a Chucky fan, but I mean, when it came to The Exorcist, I love that I love that TV show, and it was such a shame it got cancelled because The Exorcist TV show is fantastic. Yeah. But I mean, as I said, they're just certain when it comes to movies per se, they're just certain things that you just have to leave.
If they were remaking Interview with the Vampire as a movie, I would be livid. But the fact that it's a TV series, it's AMC is going to be on it. I'm excited. Those are characters I get to see more development from.
TV show wise, that's totally fair. I mean, if it's coming to another format, then I guess I can put aside my grievances. But
so what you're saying is you should have done your research before venting and complaining.
There you go. Yeah, because I just saw Interview with the Vampire. I'm like, no, don't do this. Please don't do this. I mean, they did. They tried to do MacGyver. They tried to do Magnum PI, and we know.
Yeah, I was about to say Magnum PI. I mean, it wasn't a bad show. But it's just like, why ruin something that was so good? You can go back and watch the old ones. Walker, Texas Ranger, too. Oh, goodness.
Oh, yeah. The movie of the A-Team. Come on.
Yeah, the movie of the A-Team.
I will say, I enjoyed the remake of Turner and Hooch.
Actually, I was surprised they canceled that.
Me too.
I was very surprised that they canceled that. Yeah.
I mean, it was on Disney Plus. It had what's-his-face from Josh and Drake. It was hysterical. It was great. It reminded me very much of Tom Hanks. It was on top of its game, and I loved every minute of it.
You know what? It got better. With like the first couple episodes weren't that good, but it got much better as through time. So I said, okay, they're going to renew it. Nope, they didn't renew it.
It's so sad. It is so sad. Well, they also didn't renew. Oh gosh, I can't think of the name of it. There's a show.
Doogie Howser. Oh, that was terrible. Though.
Oh no, screw that.
I did not hear about that.
So much garbage out there.
No, yeah.
The new Doogie Howser, you didn't see that?
No. Like NPH is my hero, man. Okay, I love the guy dearly.
Nope, you would have been livid. Don't. There was. Oh my god, why I can't think of the name of it? It's a Kristen Bell show. It was something that spoke to my little theater nerd heart. I'm gonna see if I can find it really quick, because I always talk about it, and then I can't remember the name of the show right now because I'm on air. But she did this really great where they brought. Gonna look. Come on. We can do it. Why are you not showing up? I will find it. It's on Disney Plus. It's where they take theater groups, or so like say somebody did Fiddler on the Roof their senior year of high school theater. They go out, they bring these guys back in 20, 25, 30 years later and recast them and have them perform the show.
Oh my God.
Oh, it's Encore. There we go. I was like, it's on.
Reheated soup. It's like reheated soup. It
No.
never tastes as good as the first time.
No, but you know what? It's really cool because you see these people and they talk about, what was going on in their lives, or, they were really struggling and this person or this theater thing. And it spoke to like the community of theater and what theater can do for people. And I was so behind it. And it was really cool. They did this thing so like their families could see, their kids could see them perform in a silly role, or they did like Oklahoma and Joseph and the Tech. Like it was really cool. They actually did one pretty locally in Central Florida, so that was fun to see some friends on it. But I loved it. And
totally fair. I mean, they're terrible movies that I love, which everybody gives me flack for. So, that's how it goes. But
you do have some weird tastes in movies, but that's
I do. There's I'm a huge fan of the Toxic Avenger, and everybody's like, "How the hell can you love the Toxic Avenger?"
I actually like the Toxic Avenger.
Yeah. So that's how the hell you can like the Toxic Avenger, because obviously you need to hang out with cooler people more often.
Well, there you go. There are people who just don't get trauma. That's how it is.
I'm reading through our comments, and Carl posted, because Donna put the SOS, and apparently it involved a kitten, a nearly full glass of ice water, a keyboard, a mouse, and Donna's lap and clothes. I'm assuming that's a mouse for a computer, not an actual mouse, but maybe not.
You never know in today's world.
Yeah, I know.
I'm glad. Who knows? Apparently, my mother is trying to get into her room. Yes, this is fun. Isn't this fun?
And I love that. Brian, are you wearing a hockey jersey, or is that just me?
Yeah, I'm actually. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, New York Rangers. I am.
You're a Rangers fan. Okay. At least you're not a Boston Bruins fan. Which
No.
Praise the Lord. Yes, because I'm a Montreal Canadiens fan. So.
Oh, you're a Canadiens fan. There you go.
Yes.
Good jersey. I actually have a Canadiens jersey. I have a Canadiens jersey.
Yay, good man, good man.
I swear Winnipeg will get their shit together hopefully next year.
We all say that when it comes to Canadian teams.
Really
I say that
have
about
an NHL. So Orlando,
I say
we
that
have the
about the
Silver
Habs every
Bears,
year.
but it's not NHL. But we've got the Tampa Bay Lightning. So there's that.
Well, you
yeah, but
guys
you
are
guys
doing
made
pretty
it.
good.
You
though.
guys made
though.
it to the Stanley Cup final. You know, so I mean,
Did we?
lost.
I didn't realize that. Also against my home team, the Panthers. But we won't go there either.
Yeah, because somebody forgot that the Colorado Avalanche won the Stanley Cup, but yeah, that's another story.
I didn't forget. I just didn't mention it.
I know, that's what I'm saying. It's kind of like when I'm asked about the Stanley Cup run with the Canadians. I'm like, yeah, that Stanley Cup final never happened.
Nope, don't know what you're talking about.
Exactly.
Well, they had their say. There was a my childhood was every Canadians went every single year.
It's about time we do it again.
Yeah.
You damn Canadians, Willow. Shame on you.
Well, it was funny because several years ago, like my husband's a Detroit Red Wings fan.
Another good jersey.
And,
Another good jersey.
And I swear it was like almost every other year it was Detroit winning or yeah.
Well, they did have a fantastic team. I mean, yeah.
They did.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Well, I know that we are wrapping stuff up. Everyone's been so awesome tonight. I'm going to let you plug away. We'll start with Brian because nobody knows Brian until our show and his incredible show, Spoonful of Podcast.
So again, if you want to find me, look for me at A Spoonful of Podcast. We try to put content out every week. We've been trying to building and getting a fan base, and we're getting pretty popular now. So if you have a chance, if you want to, we talk about Disney, Marvel, Star Wars. We break it up and try to do different things all the time. So if you have a chance, check us out. And if you want to come on to Disney Vampires at Facebook, come on and join. We need more people. It's a very small group, and it's anything goes, which is very big.
Brian does some really crazy stuff, and you're just like, oh.
Yeah, it's a pretty crazy group. So
it's awesome.
But thank you so much for having me on. I had a lot of fun.
No problem.
No, it's a blast, and thank you, Willow, for that. Yeah, Spoonful of Podcast, and where can everybody hear Spoonful of Podcast at?
You could go on Facebook, Spotify, Pandora, Podbean, all over every place. It's there.
Audio
Instagram, yeah. And it's a spoonful of pop. Yeah, you got it. So yeah, always remember that A. It's tough. That's something that we've been had to add that in there, and it was good. So it's
and
working.
You call
good.
your fans spoonies, which I love.
The spoonies. I actually have a spoon that I bring around, and I don't have it with me today, but I have this spoon that I bring around, and I take pictures. I take pictures with people and at Disney parks, and it's hilarious. So yeah, we call it the Spoonie Nation.
I love it so much. I was so happy to be part of the show. It was a lot of fun. I'll be on soon again. I think we're going to talk about food and. I think Evan was asking about.
We're going to do the bar crawl one too. I think we want to do something like that.
We're going to wind up having Skip Sharon from Disney Day Drinking Club. So it'll be fun. And then, so thank you so much, Brian, for hanging out with us. And,
this is great. This is like hanging out with my buddies talking about this stuff. I love it.
That's exactly what
you're welcome.
Yeah, that's the right. I think so. That's the entire environment that we try to create. This is just us hanging out, and there just happens to be other people that are hanging out with us. We can't see them. So we love it. DJ Nick, one of my best friends in the entire world, halfway across the world. Go ahead and talk.
Okay, deep cleansing breath, because here we go. So, folks, if you are fans of country music, you can find me hosting the radio show Whiskey and Cigarettes, where we play today's country, traditional country, and everything else in between. And more about that, visit our website. That's whiskeyandcigarettesshow.com. Podcast-wise, if superhero movies are your speed, I can be found hosting Happiness and Darkness, the superhero movie podcast. We'll discuss all superhero movies under the beautiful sun. Heather actually joined us for a couple of episodes, and look forward to having her back very, very soon indeed. Also, if you are fans of the Oscar race and everything Best Pictures, you can find myself, Zan Sprouse, and Rachel Friend discussing all the Best Picture winners on Gold Standard, the Oscars podcast. We're reviewing those in chronological order. And if superhero TV shows are your speed, myself and Charles Skaggs can be found on the Fandom Zone podcast, where we discuss all superhero TV shows. We wrapped up Miss Marvel. Heather joined us for that as well. It's great having her on. And next month, we will be reviewing, of course, both the Sandman TV show and She-Hulk Attorney at Law.
I'll be on one of those. Yep.
So that's pretty much me in a nutshell.
I spread myself very thin, apparently. My lovely co-host, Willis Schuyler, also known as the man in the booth and the girl in the screen.
Yeah, so you can find me here usually Wednesday nights with Heather. But you can also find me on Back of the Cereal Box Saturday mornings. So yeah, that's a fun podcast.
And making coffee for cranky people.
Oh yeah, so I like to do the bar broadcaster by day, barista by night.
Reverse
social media.
reverse.
Yeah, I don't know. So Saturdays I'm
You're
closing
fired.
now, so yeah, it's crazy. Like
yeah, people like put in their 2 weeks and then didn't actually work them. So Willow's been working like these insane hours.
These gray hairs are not from children or my cats or from my husband.
The other night, she's like,
that's from 13 years of working.
I hadn't talked to her in like 3 days, and she messages me that I'm like, oh, what's going on? Who do I have to murder? Who do I have to go to Winnipeg to murder? And then you've got me, Ms. Loudmouth, over here. You can find me here mostly every Wednesday night, generally at 7 or 8, depending on our wonderful panel of people. As you can hear, I spread myself quite thin in the best way possible. So every once in a while, you'll catch me on a spoonful of podcast with Brian and Evan. And then you'll see me harassing or hearing me harass Nick, sometimes Charles, all over, everywhere. But if you enjoyed our show, definitely go ahead and give us a like. You can find us on Facebook. Oh, you put up the mic. You threw me off today, Willow. You can find us on Facebook at Our Sideshow Life, or if you like the show and you want to buy me a coffee, because apparently I need to wake up even more and be more caffeinated, or buy Willow some cat food for her 12,000 cats, buymeacoffee.com/thesideshow. So we appreciate every donation over there. To buy me a coffee is fantastic. Come find us on Facebook. We don't really do Instagram. Facebook, we always post weird stuff, generally with things that are going to be coming up on our show, or to support any of our previous guests, such as Stuart Sager. He's been doing a lot of cool stuff with art auctions. So go find our page and like it and love it. Follow us here most Wednesday nights. Other than that, besides here, you can find my nonprofit group, stillservingflorida.com, which supports locally owned and operated restaurants and event venues in Central Florida. And then you're going to find me in about 5 minutes eating my dinner downstairs. So we hope you guys had a great time joining us for our San Diego Comic-Con wrap-up. We'll be doing lots of other things coming up quite soon. Thank you again for a really incredible panel of guests tonight. Brian, you are welcome anytime. Nick, you're fired. You can't join us ever again.
Bye-bye.
Thanks to our loyal chats over there. And I'm happy to see some people back. Willow, always a pleasure, my friend.
Always a pleasure. I have to put a shout out to our wonderful
Do we have
people
to? It's kind
at
of
the Chaos Network.
We are on the Chaos Network now. We've merged over with the site of chaos.com. We'll take you over to the new network. I actually just did a show with Patricio last Friday on Side of Chaos, and we talked about all sorts of crazy stuff. So if you want to give that a listen, you can do that as well. So we are happy to be here. We're happy to have our awesome fam, and we'll see you guys next time. Have a great week.
Take care, everyone.
Take care, everybody.
Bye.